You're listening to a Soul One podcast.
Okay, before I dive into a fun non-movie related story, I want to welcome Katie back to the show. Friend of Taylor, friend of show. How you doing, Katie?
Hi, I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
It was interesting because I was just thinking before we did our pre-show prep that this is going to be a fantastic experience for our listeners who think that Katie, you're so one-dimensional and you only do book to movie adaptations.
Right.
But then I realized the movie you reviewed is indeed a book. You just revealed that, and I didn't know that.
Spoiler alert. She is doing a book to
movie.
Yes, but interestingly enough, I have not actually read this book.
Great. Okay. See, we're trying to show different dimensions to our guests. Yeah. Well, because I think, Taylor, you might remember this. This was a long time ago. We had a fan write in about, I thought it was about Katie. Maybe it was about Tyler, but saying that they only seem to like the one, like thinking this is all they like. They don't like anything else. I thought it was Katie, but maybe it was Tyler. But I like when we bring our guests on and they do kind of something different. But in our pre-show prep, as you two were talking, Katie revealed this was indeed a book, which I didn't know that at all.
Our guests do contain multitudes.
Yeah, that was kind of my idea. I have a quick story before we dive into a very busy show, because we've all got a movie to review. We've got some great fan questions, but I think everyone out there needs to hear this story. Okay. About a half hour before recording tonight, I was eating some chicken parmesan, and I got it on my white t-shirt.
That's it?
Yeah. Isn't that terrible? Isn't that the worst thing when that happens, where you're eating something that clearly is going to stain a white shirt, yet you're wearing a white shirt and then you get some on it?
I wear an apron now when cooking and eating.
I never spill on myself, ever. So that's why it's such a memorable story. This is having less impact than I thought it would, to be honest. I thought we'd be talking about this a bit more.
I'm a big spilly girly.
Me too.
And I am getting married in September, and I'm a little concerned about what my plan is to not spill all over my white dress.
Oh, good point.
Congratulations, by the way, Katie. Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to share that news, so I didn't mention it.
Oh, there we go. This is a fun way to do it.
Snaps for you. Well, I'm a huge spilly girly, and I had barbecue at my wedding, Katie. You were there. Yeah. I don't think I got barbecue on my dress, and I don't remember how. Probably just lots of napkins.
Yeah,
on my lap and tucked in. Yeah. Yeah, that's all you can do. Napkins, tablecloth, pull the tablecloth over you. But Mike, you were asking for it. Chicken parmesan with a white t-shirt.
With a white t-shirt, that is really asking for it.
I guess so.
Did you make the chicken parmesan, or did you order it?
No, of course not. No, this was not ordered. Made by someone else, leftovers that I was consuming. So very much homemade, very good. I just, tonight I've got a couple recordings in a row and then a very important sporting event that I want to watch. So I knew I wouldn't have time to eat after our recordings. So I thought, okay, I'll quickly eat this now. That'll get me through my evening. All will be fine. And I think in the rush to kind of just quickly eat something, I wasn't as careful as I usually am.
I can picture this. You went goblin mode over the chicken parm, probably standing up in your kitchen, maybe over the sink.
Not over the sink. No, I had a plate. I wasn't
bare hands.
I very much a fork and a plate.
So there you go, Katie. Make sure you use your cutlery. You have a plate. You eat slowly. These are all strategies to keep you clean come the wedding.
We've got some fan questions that we're going to dive into. So let's get to those first. And then we've got a couple different movies we're reviewing today, which we can quickly mention here. I'm going to be reviewing A House of Dynamite. And then Taylor, what do you got for us today?
Bring Her Back.
Which no one's heard of.
I mentioned this on the show many, many moons ago. This movie came out in the spring, but I think it's only available on streaming now. But this is one that I saw the trailer for, and I'm pretty sure I brought this up on the show, Mike. The trailer looked utterly horrifying, and I wasn't going to see it because the trailer looked so scary, and Nicole's been friendly pestering me to watch this. So finally I gave in because I thought, Mike, I pulled a Mike. I thought Chad Powers was a movie, not a TV show.
Yeah, you came to that realization because that was what you were gonna review.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a TV show either. I thought it was a movie.
Katie, did you know that have you heard of this?
No.
Okay. It's on I think it's a Hulu, which just means it's Disney now. And it's it's the new Hollywood's trying to make him a movie star, Glenn Powell. And so I thought, okay, I just need I've been watching a lot of horror movies. It looks like kind of like a silly like sports biopic. I think it even might be based on a true story. So I go to load it up, and it's like season 1, episode 1. At least I didn't do a full mic and watch all of episode 1 thinking that it was the movie.
Yeah, that's what I did.
That a couple weeks ago
with Alien Earth. Yeah.
Right. So anyways, I that's why I'm reviewing Bring Her Back. And Katie, you're watching probably the most, as far as my algorithm is telling me, the most critically acclaimed movie of the fall.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument to be made for that. I went to go see one battle after another, so I cannot wait to talk about it.
Before we get to that, though, we will dive into some fan questions. I really should read these beforehand because this first question. I'm going to try my best to get through this. It's very interesting. So this one comes from Katie, your namesake. Katie has written in and says, if you could replace one character in any movie with a Muppet, but only one character and only one Muppet, what movie would you choose? And which Muppet would you choose and why?
This is a little bit of the reverse thought experiment that I've seen online where it's choose any movie and make it all Muppets, but choose one human actor. So this
well, that would be a regular Muppet movie.
They only want one Muppet in the movie.
One Muppet. Yeah, because what you're describing is just a regular Muppet movie. Like there's always just one human kind of main actor and maybe a couple other ones there, here and there. But yeah, this is one movie and there's just a Muppet playing, I guess, the lead role, and what Muppet it would be. That's our task.
Devil Wears Prada, and the editor, Miranda Priestley,
yeah,
is Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy, yeah. That's good. That's really good. Yeah, I would watch that. That's really good.
Katie, do you have thoughts on that one?
I mean, this is recency bias because I did watch this movie recently, but I have thought about it before. The 2005 Pride and Prejudice, and then you have Mr. Darcy played by Kermit the Frog.
Good choice.
I can't, all the things that are coming to my head, I can't mention on air because I just don't think it would work or be appropriate. So I'm trying to find one that's just like, my brain went to like really dramatic movies and throwing a Muppet in there. And I'm trying to figure out one that would be more appropriate. And yeah, this question's really thrown me off.
Well, we can circle back to it, Mike.
Give me some time to think about it. That's really good. Okay, this next question comes from Kyle, who says, one of the things that my friends and I always love to talk about is what movies we absolutely love, but we would fully admit that they're terrible. We would admit that they're terrible in any circumstances, but we still love them anyway. And we talk about what makes that movie that's so bad so good for us. Do you have any movies that come to mind that you know are terrible, but you can't help but love them?
It's such a bias because I think even movies that I know that have been rated terribly that I love, I'm just like, well, the critics are wrong. Like Katie, were you? You might not have been there. It might have been Aparajita and Aaron, and I showed them Stigmata for the first time.
Which is not there.
Okay, one of my favorite movies. I think it's just a good movie, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like so bad it's good, right?" And I'm like, "No, so good it's good."
Yeah, this is a bad question for you because you hold that opinion, but I'm like that too. Like people say that things are so bad they're good, and I'm like, no, this is an amazing movie. Like, people say that about Josie and the Pussycats, which I maintain is one of my favorite movies, and I think it's still an amazing movie.
Yeah, I think Saved is a phenomenal movie, and I think
also think that Saved is a phenomenal movie.
Yeah,
so you and I are on the same page.
Mike, do you have where Katie and I can't answer because we think our taste is impeccable?
Yeah, I generally like a movie because I think it's good, but I'm sure I've been in a scenario where other people have just not agreed with me and said that the movie is bad, and I liked it anyway. Certainly, the reverse has happened, right? Like, there's lots of examples I can think of people who love certain movies, and I think it's just atrocious. Like A Simple Favor,
the Barbie movie,
great example. I liked the Barbie movie.
I feel like when I reviewed the Barbie movie, I was harsh on it, but I feel more harsh now. I don't think that movie's going to age well.
Any particular reason?
I don't know. Well, maybe that's just my bias. I didn't think it was that great of a movie. And now that I was thinking about this recently. I don't know what I was doing. I must have been driving. Thinking about the Barbenheimer or Oppa, what did they call it?
Yeah, I think it was Barbenheimer, yeah.
Barbenheimer, and how we haven't had that in a while. Like, huge, like, you know.
Yeah, I think we had it with, the last one would have been Wicked and Gladiator.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Last summer, I guess.
Yeah, that would have been last summer, I think. Yeah.
And it had me reconsidering the Barbie movie, just thinking about that. I'm like, yeah, I stand behind that's not a good movie. So
yeah, I think, like, I liked the Barbie movie on, like, an entertainment level. I don't think it'll stand the test of time in terms of it says anything that's relatively important, or the way it goes about saying it. But I think as, like, just a piece of, like, entertainment, it was fine, and I remember enjoying it. But I will, to kind of be kind of on your side for a second, Taylor. I can't sit here and, like, tell you memorable moments from the movie, which to me is what makes certain movies stand the test of time, is the ability to recall scenes and moments that you liked or made you laugh or what have you. There's really nothing from Barbie that, like, stands out in such a big way that I can sit here and be like, this scene. But I'll make the claim. I know this is not a popular opinion. I feel very similar about Oppenheimer, another movie I enjoyed, but aside from its soundtrack, I can't sit here and be like, and this moment or this scene, it kind of just washed over me. Enjoyed it, had a good time. I think the soundtrack is wonderful, and the sound work for the most part is pretty good. But I also can't sit here and tell you anything that much about Oppenheimer. So
I actually can't wait on Oppenheimer because I still haven't seen it. It's not a movie that I'm dying to see. It's like, over 3 hours long, about the making of the atomic bomb. Katie knows how I feel about the Cold War.
Yeah.
So
I know about the space race.
Yeah, because this is technically World War II, but
yeah,
I lump it in with the space race stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish I'm not a fan of, for sure.
Science.
I'm adjusting everything here because my cat keeps somehow getting on this table. Yeah, it's an interesting. Looking back at those things are interesting because both movies, I would say, at the box office were hugely successful. But again, I don't know how much they'll stand the test of time either.
Here's a movie for you, Mike, that we've mentioned on the show before. But again, this to me falls in the category of it's good because it's good, not so bad that it's good. Hamlet 2.
Oh, yeah.
Do people not like that one? Do people think that's a bad movie?
Sorry, had to remove the cat again. Yes, I think there's a lot of people who either don't know that movie exists, or when they see it are like, this is like a low budget bad movie.
You know what happens is that these movies become cult status and cult movies. So Katie, your pick of Josie and the Pussycats, I think critics are now reevaluating it and realizing that it was good and it is good.
Yeah.
So that's why this question is so hard for me, because I'm like, mainstream society is just wrong. They just have it wrong, and we're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, I agree. I concur with that for the most part. I agree with both of you about most of the movies I like. I like because I think they're good.
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of sit here and say, yeah,
It's like
this movie's bad.
it's like when people say like, "Oh, that's my guilty pleasure." I don't feel guilty for liking the things I like.
Yeah, you've brought that up on the show before, for sure. You've
Yeah.
definitely talked about that quite a bit.
So there.
I haven't come up with an answer to the Muppet question, but I will say I think Gonzo is my favorite Muppet, so I'd put him in something.
Is he the one with the hook nose?
Yeah. He's the one who I don't think
He's like a daredevil.
It's like, yeah, and it's not really clear what he is. They talk about that a lot, and I think one of the movies revealed that he's an alien or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. The Muppets go to space, and they don't actually go to space in that movie.
No, they're just invaded by aliens or something. I don't remember what happens, but I'm sure I enjoyed it because Muppet movies are great. Okay, well, thank you for those fan questions, everybody who wrote in. But we do have some movies to review, so we should get to that before my cat completely flips out. Katie, do you want to get us started?
Sure. So, full disclosure, so I went to go see One Battle After Another, which is a movie that is very loosely based on a Thomas Pynchon novel called Vineland. I have not read Vineland, nor have I read any Thomas Pynchon novels. I think that they're kind of strange, but my fiance
What's the genre, Katie?
They like vary, but I would say that this one is it's like a crime thrill. Well, the movie I would say is like a thriller,
right?
But like also comedy and drama, and that has to do with like the Paul Thomas Anderson of it all,
right?
Again, my full disclosure is that I've never actually seen a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. This is my first one.
Not even Boogie Nights.
No, it's like I have this list of all of these movies I'm trying to work through, and I realize I have to bump some stuff up because all of these movies just kind of like passed me by, and I never watched them.
It's hard to get caught up. He also did The Master, right? I loved that one with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
And Inherent Vice is another Pynchon novel adaptation, which is like a noir, which I think is like kind of Pynchon's, MO. I think he likes to write in that kind of style.
Right.
Like there's always like this kind of like loser character, I think, who
slacker.
Who like has to save something.
He also did Licorice Pizza, which is a movie you reviewed, Taylor.
I hated Licorice Pizza
a while back.
I hated that one, but I did really like Inherent Vice, also with Joaquin Phoenix. So clearly he has a
he has his like So anyways, this movie, I really loved it. I think it's getting a lot of buzz right now just because of how prescient it kind of feels. I don't want to get too political on your podcast, but it does really relate to a lot of what we're seeing that's happening in like the United States right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just in terms of like, so Leonardo DiCaprio the movie opens and he is like this young radical revolutionary, and he and his girlfriend, who's played by Tiana Taylor, are like breaking people out of ICE facilities and like blowing things up and just trying to be anarchists. And then, some things happen. I don't want to spoil it, but basically the rest of the movie then takes place 18 years later
So in the future?
Yes, where Leo is like this kind of washed up. He's not doing his radical activism anymore because he has a daughter who's 18 at this point. And he just like gets high all the time and like is pretty listless.
Disillusioned.
And then his daughter is put in danger and he has to kind of like jump back into action and save the day.
Okay.
So like that is kind of the plot of the movie. I think it's about 2.5 hours, but it moves really, really fast. His daughter is played by Chase Infinity, who I'd never seen before. She's done some TV stuff, but she was phenomenal. And Sean Penn plays kind of the villain. He is a white supremacist, and there's this group of white supremacists that are villains that they call themselves the Christmas Adventurers, and it's like very absurd, but also like almost too real in a sense.
Right.
And
stranger than fiction.
Yeah, and I just think that if this movie were made like even a year ago, a lot of people would be like, "Oh, this is so cartoony. Like nobody acts
Right.
like this." But
Right.
now you're watching it and you're like, "Okay, yeah, this is
We'd feel very differently now because
yeah,
it
yeah."
sounds very
So
relatable. Yeah.
yeah, so I think like that is a lot of what the like I mean, it's a beautifully shot movie as well. The cinematography, I know Paul Thomas Anderson does his own, like he doesn't work with a cinematographer, he frames all of his shots and everything. I think. I'm pretty sure. It's like shot so beautifully. There are like these 2 car chase scenes that are just unbelievable. I do recommend, if it's possible, like I do recommend going to see it in a theater. I know if you live in LA, they did it in like they released it in the like he shot it in VistaVision, so you can go see it if you can find a theater that plays it in VistaVision. You know, in Canada, I don't think we even have a theater that does that. So you have to live in LA to get all the cool stuff, but it is like very beautiful.
That's like the one reason why Nicole stays in LA. I'm joking.
Yeah.
There's lots of reasons why, but like
I know, but it's like
for movie junkies, LA
Yeah.
truly is the place to be.
Yeah,
yeah. And the soundtrack's amazing, and Benicio del Toro is in it, and I think he'll get nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I don't know if he'll win, but like honestly, it is
oh wow,
it's like a perfect role, like performance. Like it's been a while since I've seen a movie where I've been like, wow, that was just I don't have any notes. It was just perfectly used, perfect like timing, perfect. He just hit the tone of the movie. It was just really, really great.
That's so interesting to hear because when I first heard of this movie, I saw just a dreadful trailer for it, and then I saw a like updated trailer maybe a month later, and it looked way better. Like I don't know if they like made a marketing correction or something.
There was something weird that happened with the trailers. You can look this up, but I think initially the first trailer that was released, Paul Thomas Anderson didn't have anything to do with.
Right.
And then the second trailer was cut by him, I think, to rectify it.
Wow. You don't really hear that very often, eh?
And it was a drastic difference.
Don't quote me on that. You can look into it, but there was definitely something weird going on with the trailer.
Katie, you mentioned a couple of the performances. I'm seeing a ton of buzz around Leonardo DiCaprio's performance. Is it worth the hype, or is it just Leo being Leo?
I mean, like I can say it's just Leo being Leo, but Leo is also one of the great, like
I love him
actors, right? Like
I love him.
Yeah, I love him too. It's funny. This weekend I watched Wolf of Wall Street, also for the first time. See him filling in my gaps.
Oh,
I know.
Really?
That's a great movie.
Yeah, that's shocking.
Oh, yeah, but quick question, Katie. Does it hold up? Because when it came out, like everyone thought it was amazing, and I thought it was like chef's kiss, and I have it on DVD. But I probably haven't watched it in like a decade.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing movie. It is what it is, right? Like it's about excess,
hyper stylized. Yeah.
Yeah. And like Leo it's just again this reminder that like Leonardo DiCaprio has been acting since however old he was, and he's been phenomenal in every single thing I've seen him in. I've never seen him give a bad performance. And in this he plays like the young revolutionary really well, and then he plays like the hapless dad who, you know, can't remember the safe code because he's too stoned.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I mean it certainly had been getting a lot of good buzz. It's interesting. I didn't know there was any buzz around this being an Oscar kind of movie that would get some nominations, but it sounds like it's this won't be the last we hear of this. Leonardo DiCaprio, I mean, he went on that run where he was being nominated every year for years,
and then he won,
and it just couldn't win, and then he finally won. So it was good to see him finally get one, and it's good that he, even after that, he's continued to kind of act and stuff. So Katie, I think it's pretty obvious then where you sit on this film with saying like there aren't a lot of notes because it just worked for you. Do you want to give us your rating? I'm sure this won't shock people.
Yeah, I mean my rating is like see it. Again, I haven't read the book, so I cannot speak to the book. I think the book is kind of about, you know, it's set in the 80s, so it's kind of about the failure of the counterculture of the 60s. Because the main character is like a former hippie who's now living under Reagan. And with one battle after another, it is set in our present day pretty much, but it's still kind of dealing with that, like, what does it mean to be a revolutionary, like, consistently throughout your life?
Yeah,
Okay,
how
so
far can your politics go?
it's more of an updated version, you think, then from the book. It's
Oh yeah,
more
for
modern.
sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Did
Definitely.
your fiance was the one who really wanted to see this movie, right?
Yeah,
Do
which
you
is
have
rare
any
for him.
He's not a movie guy. He's
He's
like
not
Dan.
well, like, yeah, he's not a really big movie guy. He'd
What
rather
what
just
were
read.
yeah, does he have anything he wants to share via you?
The only thing he said is that the book, one of the, like, television plays a really big role in the book. It's like one of the main themes. I don't really know what that
Huh.
means. And that is left out of the movie, which is fine. Because again, this movie is considered a very loose adaptation of Vineland. Like, it
Right.
takes the same themes and, like, the same kind of plot structure, but totally changes, like, where it's set. Obviously, the time has some different meaning now, especially in our present day. Like,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Without knowing what he means by TV plays a big part, I can see, like like the news anchors and like
Mm-hmm.
cable TV was so huge in the 80s and like how it shaped popular
Yeah, like
imagination.
perception. Yeah.
And you just can't, TV's not the same as it was in the 80s, right? So I could see why they kind of dropped that plot point if that was, but again, that's without knowing like the thematic implications of the TV, but interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds
So yeah,
good.
definitely a see it. I think I don't know how many Oscars it'll win. I think it'll rack up a bunch of nominations, including picture, director, some actor, actresses,
Adaptation.
adapted screenplay. I think the score, it's Paul Thomas Anderson likes to work with Johnny Greenwood, who is the Radiohead guitarist, I believe.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And so the score was really, really great. And then also some good needle drops throughout, which yeah.
Cool.
I just, no notes. I thought it was great.
Excellent.
Yeah, you've sold me on it. I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I have one critique.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
And now these are things that I've heard from other media criticism, because I do just want to preface, I am a white woman. The portrayal of Black women in this movie is getting some critique from that community.
Okay.
So just like going into the movie, if you want to think about something, that is something to think about while you're watching it. It's just like, how are we portraying Black women in this movie?
Yeah, and it was a white director.
As a white director.
A white author, I assume.
Yeah.
Got it. White man. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that being
noted.
said, like, the actress playing Leo DiCaprio's daughter, Chase Infinity, she is a Black woman, and she is, the hero of the story. So
right.
There's like different ways to look at it, but
okay.
Yeah, Tiana Taylor character is like a very complicated one, and that I think rubs up against some people.
Got it.
But anyways, good movie. We're seeing.
Cool.
Okay, let's shift to the movie that Katie and I haven't heard of. Bring her back. So Taylor, why don't we tell us about this film?
Okay, so this was directed by brothers Michael and Danny Filippo, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that name. They directed another horror movie in 2022 called Talk to Me. Nicole said that one was quite good as well. So if
I've seen it, yes.
Okay, so if you like Talk to Me, you'll probably like bring her back. But the major critique as I go in, or not critique, but like note, is that Bring Her Back is quite, I don't know if gory is the right way to describe it. Like, Dan asked me if it was body horror. I don't even think it was necessarily body horror. It's just like the character design is quite grotesque. And okay, so I'll back up a little bit and tell you a little bit about this movie. So this movie, it starts with a brother and sister who are, there's stepbrother and stepsister. The younger sister is blind, and then the older brother has kind of assumed like a protector role around her, and very quickly the father passes away the mother is not in the picture, we can just assume that maybe she passed away earlier. And so, you know, in the first couple minutes of the movie, they're essentially orphaned. The brother wants to have custody of the sister, but he isn't eligible for like 6 months until he turns 18. So that sets us up for the plot of the movie, and they end up being placed in the home. And I'm just Googling the actress, Sally Hawkins, who I think is a phenomenal actress.
Really great.
Sally Hawkins plays the foster mother, and like she plays it like it's just a testament to Sally's ability as an actress, and I think also the writing. Her performance is very nuanced, but immediately we know there's something's up with her, but not in like a showy, like, it's just like you can't put your finger on it. She's kind of weird. She seems unhinged. Like, how are these kids in this woman's home? And then we find out that there's another child in the home, Oliver, who's a mute and is quite strange. And so without giving too much away, it is, I think it's in the promotion, so I don't think I'm spoiling too much, but essentially the brother uncovers a ritual that's happening within the home. And that's like where the horror comes from. And so the horror, or like the grotesque character design, really revolves around the child Oliver. And I thought this movie was very effective. It was, to me, quite like, it's scary in the sense that like you don't know what's gonna happen next. It's a little bit paranormal, like the atmospheric, like they're in this kind of like remote home, and it's very well acted. Like I don't know if this movie was filmed in Australia or New Zealand. Australia. So I'm not familiar with any of the actors aside from Sally Hawkins. The main characters are like the 3 kids, and then Sally being the Sally Hawkins, being the foster mother. And so I thought all 3 kids did a phenomenal job. To me personally, this movie was too gross. If I can describe it. So like, that's like, again, it's not like gory in the sense that it's like a slasher flick, and like you don't see like a lot of like body transformation, but like what Ollie, the young child, goes through is like very gross. And like there are some gross scenes that remind me a little bit of The Substance. Like if people saw The Substance and remember like her pulling out her teeth, like there's a scene where like he like is chewing on furniture, and like it, like you see it all happen. And so that's like my major caveat, I guess, that this is a particular type of horror. I think it's not a slasher flick. It's sort of like a supernatural horror, and there are some like very grotesque visuals, I would say. It was a little bit too intense for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Not as bad as Martyrs, which is like a French horror movie that came out in the early 2000s. Not as intense as that, or even like Antichrist, but like kind of borderline, like going into that territory in terms of like very intense, gross visuals. Yeah, it also, and like I want to put this question to you guys, and it might just be because like I've really gone soft since having a kid. So this young kid who plays Ollie, he's like this kind of the main, like I said, he's the subject of kind of the gross stuff, I guess you could say. And I can't even click on his thing on Wikipedia, so I have no idea how old he is. He can't be more than 10, like in the movie. Like he's young. And he has to do like his character design, or I should say like the special effects makeup that he like undergoes, progressively gets like so gross. And like he has to do some like pretty gross stuff. And I'm like, what are the ethical ramifications of like having small children do these like horrible things in movies? And I'm
Well,
like,
yeah, it's a good
am
question. I mean,
I
in
just too
theory,
soft now?
well, in theory, though, even child actors have gone through some kind of like training or
Sure.
are in the middle of it. So generally, that
And
helps.
I've heard things like the director doesn't tell the kid what the movie's about. They don't read the
Yeah,
script. They
yeah.
don't even see the movie when it's done. But I don't, it just seems, yeah, it was like really
I think
gross.
there's a line. Like I agree with. I do think there's a line that exists. I don't know what necessarily that is, and it's probably like the comfort of. I guess you've got to have kind of both the parents and child involved in that. I just know that a lot of young child actors are also receiving training of
Sure.
sorts to sort of help
It's
support
not
in
real.
these things. Yeah, and again, I not that that works. There's been lots of horror stories about how certainly at least how younger actors are treated and how difficult it can be to kind of grow up in that atmosphere. I think we're better at it now, but I do agree with you. I think there's a line. I just don't know what it is, but I have like personal preferences about what I want to see and don't want to see. Like there are definitely things where I'm like, this is too much for me because of the age of the person. Like that has happened. So I do agree with that.
Katie, thoughts?
Um, I don't watch a lot of like horror movies.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's not my genre. I did watch The Substance. Um, it wasn't for me.
Mm.
This one wouldn't be for you either.
Yeah, I just
I'm
don't really like being like
uncomfortable.
I'll watch things like I think I need to watch Sinners.
Yes.
And like I watched Get Out when that was a really big deal. I just don't really
Right.
like things that are spooky or
That's
creepy.
fair.
I will
So
say I don't think Sinners is much of a horror movie as some of those other ones are. Not that obviously that's like its kind of genre, but I would describe Sinners as more of a thriller with some sort of horror undertones here and there.
Monster
But
element.
yeah, monster element. But I think it has more of a sort of action thriller quality to it. So just
I guess I would feel the same way about like sexual content. Like if I saw so in Taxi Driver, this would be like a classic example. In Taxi Driver, Jodie Foster plays an underage prostitute
right.
and they used her sister as a body double when she like had to sit on like older men's laps and stuff. And then you're like, if you're going through all this stuff, do we need to portray child prostitutes? That's like, I guess that's where I start think like my thought process goes, that if you have to do all of these safeguards, isn't even ethical to like show that on screen. But I guess if everyone's consenting and in the case of Taxi Driver, there were body doubles and it was Jodie Foster's sister and like whatever. But I don't know, like I never thought about that stuff
Right.
10 years
Well,
ago.
and I think what you're describing is probably the ethical way to do it. Like what the way you're describing as to what they did. Sorry, is that Taxi Driver? Is that the movie? I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
why
I
that
apologize.
immediately slipped out of my
I
head.
use the term prostitute. I think it should be sex worker, but
I think that like what you're describing that they did. Okay,
and
I
that was in the
assume
70s.
older sister body double.
Yeah.
And probably the family's involved and like there's all those other things. I think that is if there's a story you want to tell and you really want to tell it and this is what the story's about. And again, I would say certainly in 2025 we are looking at finding and wanting to hear stories from a variety of different backgrounds and a variety of different people. Then I guess the way you're describing it is probably just the way to do it, Taylor. But I think you and I bring this up on the show all the time. People have to know their own personal limits. Like it's
Yeah.
okay to sit here and say, well, that's not for me. Like
Just
there's
like
nothing
Katie.
wrong with that.
Katie, the substance wasn't for you.
no.
Nothing wrong with that
It
whatsoever.
was not.
But I would recommend Sinners.
So Bring Her Back is a hard one for me to review. It's kind of like when we had Father Quirk on the show, Mike, and we were like, okay, this is a Tyler Vance movie. How do you rate a Tyler Vance movie?
How do you do that?
So like Bring Her Back, how Katie feels about The Substance is actually similar to how I felt about The Substance. The Substance isn't really my bag either in terms of body horror. Bring Her Back, I found it was a good movie. It was well directed, well acted. I don't have any problems. Like Katie said, no notes. it was a good movie. It just was a little bit too intense and yeah, very visual, very unsettling. So I would say this is a see it if that's the type of horror you like. Exactly what you're saying, Mike. Know your limits. It
Yeah.
portrays a young child who's like undergoing, something pretty grotesque. And then it's an older woman who's targeting and like psychologically abusing these two vulnerable children. So if those themes with an added element of like the paranormal, grotesque visuals aren't for you, then this is a skip it. But if you're looking for a good spooky atmospheric kind of thriller horror movie, and you don't mind that kind of stuff, then it's definitely a see it. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me. Yeah, so the last movie here is from me, which I saw, A House of Dynamite.
Haven't heard of it.
Which, Taylor, you have not heard of.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, I hadn't until I watched it, I will say. I hadn't heard much. So I don't know, Katie, if you've heard anything in particular about this movie, but the tiny bit of research I did, people love or hate the ending of this movie.
Yeah, I've heard of the movie. I could not tell you what it's about. I just know that it's a Catherine Bigelow movie.
Yeah, it is Catherine Bigelow, and it's a sort of political drama of sorts, but essentially it revolves around a ballistic missile has been launched from somewhere in the world and is heading towards the United States. Okay. There's a ticking clock. There's 16 minutes before this hits a particular location in the States. And the movie is done from actually a pretty interesting perspective of 3 different levels of the government. So it's one of those movies where it kind of shows you it's split into thirds. The first third of the movie is focusing on like the first response individuals. So you've got your army that's like tracking, your naval support that's all like tracking this, and like the first people at sort of the White House who are dealing with this. And then the second third of the movie is kind of the generals and all the advisors to the president and them learning about it and dealing with it and discussing what to do. And then the final third of the movie is from the president's perspective, and getting all the information and having to decide what the next steps are and what's supposed to be done here. So it is interesting in that sense. And I have to say, at the end of the day, this movie was very well directed. My compliments for the movie kind of end there. I do think the performances were good. Don't get me wrong. This is not a great script. And even though the story was really, really interesting, I'm on the side of absolutely hating the end of this movie. Because without giving away too much, I don't think this is a huge spoiler, but I'll just say this. It just ends. The movie simply ends.
Mike, isn't this the exact same issue and I forget the name of the movie. It was sort of a apocalyptic movie too. They go to like a beach house and it's like a family.
Yes. That's a little bit more of a kind of post-apocalyptic horror movie and I know the Julia Roberts plays the mom in this family. Yes, I know exactly. I can't remember the name, but I know exactly the movie you're talking about. And yes, it has a very similar problem to that movie. I will say A House of Dynamite is like a much better movie than that one was. Like you can tell, like Catherine Bigelow is a great director. You can tell it's so well directed, and the acting is really good. They've got some really great actors in this movie, including Idris Elba, who plays the president, who does a really great job. Oh, he's great. There's tons of actors in this movie that you would recognize. Rebecca Ferguson being another one of them, and a lot who you'd look at. Oh yeah, this person. Oh yeah, this person. And they're all very, very good. The problem is the movie had me hooked for a while. And it took me through the movie, and it was interesting. It was dealing with like really the like, what do we do? This missile is definitely going to hit. There's nothing our attempts to stop it failed, and it's more about what happens next. Like you've got the military advisors like basically advising the president. Like you can basically do one of like 6 or 7 things, including retaliation against whoever this is, and we don't know who it is, and we're all trying to figure that out. And it's really, really fascinating in that sense. The ending, I'm sorry, just ruined it for me. it left me in a place where I'm like, this is not only not remotely resolved. You didn't give a clear arc to characters, a clear understanding of what the point of this entire thing was. And even though the movie I thought was interesting, I was connected to it. I was a see it all the way through. And then when the ending happened, I went, "Are you kidding me? Like that's it?" Because I gotta say, it just ends. It's an abrupt ending to the movie.
Hey, we've said it before on the show, Mike. Endings are hard.
I don't think they have to be this hard, though. I really don't think they have to be this hard. And to me, it really ruined the movie. Like, it ruined the experience of what I thought was really interesting. And it made me think of what are other movies that are kind of like this that did it better? And there's that movie, I don't, maybe both of you will know it. I've been trying to remember the name of it. I should just look it up.
Independence Day?
No, the one that's kind of about the Cuban Missile Crisis with Kevin Costner.
No idea.
It's a bit of an older movie. I think it was 90s or kind of maybe 80s. But Kevin Costner's in it, and a Canadian actually plays Kennedy.
You can't really fumble the bag on that one, though, because you know how it ends.
Yes, there's an actual ending. This is sort of a modern day, what if it happened now?
Right.
So you don't have, like, history to go off of. I don't think that's an excuse, though. I mean, I don't know who the writer is. I don't have it in front of me. They don't deserve credit. Terribly written script, because you didn't come up with an ending to what your story was. And it made me sit here and go, I was with you because of great direction and really interesting, actors playing roles really well. I can't tell you one characteristic about the characters other than this person has a family. This person has a daughter. This person is sad for some reason. Like, it kind of did remind me of those, like, Independence Day style movies where they force, like Michael Bay movies, where they force their characters to try to have characteristics,
and they don't really matter. It's just the characters are just a vehicle for the action, right?
That's
it
right.
doesn't really matter what their backstory is.
And this movie doesn't have action to it. It's more of a political intrigue drama, but your characters were only interesting because of the actors who played them. That young actor that I've mentioned on the show before, I think his name's Anthony Ramos. He's been in, like, a bunch of, like, random things recently, but he was in Hamilton on Broadway. He's kind of the first person you follow, and he was really, really good. But I know the only characteristic they gave him is that at the beginning he's on some kind of an argument with his partner about something. I think he was either, like, cheated on or something bad happened, and they're trying to, like, work through it. And then it kind of, like, fuels his kind of anger, and he treats his kind of colleagues not so great. And then this thing happens, and he kind of erases that, and he goes into, like, soldier mode. And it's just like, well, what was the point of the setup then? Like, it never came back to anything with the characters, of things you set up. So nothing was important, was kind of the moral of this movie, which I hated, because I just kind of wasted 2 hours for kind of no reason. So yeah, A House of Dynamite, that was like a see it all the way through till the end. I'm going to give it an airplane it, because I think there's a couple, it's well directed. There's a couple things in there where you might watch it on an airplane and be like, okay, well, at least I killed these hours and whatever. But yeah, I'm just going to give it an airplane it.
And Mike, if what you're reading is correct, some people are loving the ending.
I think it's split down the middle, where you either love this kind of ending or hate it. And I can totally see that. Some people would look at it and be like, oh, what a, like, artsy, artistic ending. I just think it's lazy. I don't think there's as much meaning behind it as I'm sure it'd be given. I don't think this is the fault of the director. I think this is the fault of the person who wrote the script, who wrote the story, who didn't give the director an ending. Catherine Bigelow is a good director, Academy Award winning, like, very, very good. And I think it was a really well directed movie. But again, that's an ending can ruin it, for me at least. And yeah, I think it kind of ruined the ending. So there you go.
Makes sense.
Well, there you go. That's it for this week. Katie, thank you so much for coming on board the show again.
Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're welcome back anytime. I know some of our listeners will be wondering what our next book movie club will be. So that's something.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah. I know that next year in
March,
sometime in 2026, March, my favorite book is being made into a movie.
Which is what?
Project Hail Mary.
Oh, the Andy Weir.
Andy
It's
Weir
a
one,
space
yes.
movie.
So, yeah, I'm going to definitely make Taylor watch that. So, Katie, look out. I might be contacting you to say, hey, we've got to do this.
We've
I
got to
want to
get
talk
Taylor
about
to
it.
watch Project
Yeah.
Hail Mary.
And read the book. But you could, Taylor, you could listen to the audiobook. It's a
I
great
plan to listen
audiobook.
to the audiobook.
Yeah, it's a great audiobook. So that would be my vote for the next one. But hey, we could do one before then as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect. Right. Yeah, thank you everybody again for listening. And yeah, we'll be back next week.
Go see some movies.
Thank you for listening to You Had Me at Skip It, a Soul One Arts Inc. podcast. This podcast is produced by Mike Shepard and Austin Spinner Summer. It is a project of Soul One Arts Inc. To learn more about Soul One and all the great work that Soul One is doing in the arts community, especially in film, theater, and other performing arts, visit soul1arts.ca. You can contribute to this podcast by visiting soul1arts.ca and going to the podcast tab. You'll find all the information on You Had Me at Skip It and how you can get your questions read on air each week. Thank you again for listening.